PB2X goes to Chi-Town with plenty of fast five-man play, a touch of evil, and a little paintball fashion. It's all here right now on Paintball 2Xtremes. Oh, we're heating it up with another Paintball 2Xtremes. And guess what? Look here, Saint. We're coming in from Chicago this week. The third stop of the year for the PSP. They've crisscrossed the nation, gone from Cali to Florida, and now in the heartland, the land of Lincoln. And guess what? We've got a treat for you. Not one, not two, but three. Three big shows from Chicago. Watch this. Man, I always thought the Windy City would be a little bit windier than that, but hey, that's okay. We're still gonna have a good time here today because we're gonna check out five-man action, get our game on, all kinds of good stuff. But before we do, let's check in with Jen Pierce.
James, the venue for the 12th annual Chicago Open is the beautiful Bolingbrook Recreation and Aquatics Complex, located right here in the western suburbs. And today's five-man teams are competing for some $55K in prize money. And I'm going to gaze into my crystal ball and profile a couple teams that I think are going to be taking home a big paycheck. And I'm going to also see if there's some other action going on the field that I can find out about. But to get it all going, let's check in with James.
Now that's more like it. A little bit of wind for the Windy City. Hey, since it's our first stop on the 2005 PSP Tour, what do you say we catch up with some news and notes? A new addition to the PSP is geared toward giving young players some tournament exposure and experience. Enter the Young Guns.
Basically started Young Guns last event in Orlando at Wide World of Sports Center in Disney. And what it actually does is try to see the little guys, you know, the younger generation involved in tournament paintball, but as a organized group, you know, in an organized system.
Also, if you see an odd sort of gadget roaming the sidelines at a PSP event, it is their latest device that cracks down on illegal markers.
So starting at the last event using software, I was able to isolate the frequency that the gunshots are at and eliminate all the background noise, so it's very accurate now. Then we changed that analog signal to digital using a comparator, and we fed it back into the device, and it measures the time between peaks. And all the tests that I did here so far indicate that my remote monitoring is as accurate as the laboratory or benchtop monitoring. And quite honestly, if I can solve this, then my legacy for paintball has been established.
So there you go. Now that you're caught up with the buzz in the PSP, what do you say I use a little ESP and tell you what's coming up next? I see a clock, and I see an expert that's going to tell you exactly what's new in the 1-minute review. Check this out.
Here we have the new 2006 Fast Pack brought to you by Empire. It's the lightest, fastest pack on the market by far. A couple features I want to show you about this one are the pod stabilizer straps. Keeps your back three pods from smacking around together from you when you're running to your bunkers. This comes in a 7-pack or a 5-pack. The Velcro we use to make this is the most expensive, highest quality Velcro you can get. This is medical grade Velcro. It doesn't get any better than this. Tapered neoprene back straps. Fold when you fold, so they move when you move. Padded back support here for you back guys that carry the heavy paint loads. You know how important that is. Resistant adjustment straps for your bigger, smaller guys, anybody. This pack's made for everybody. One of the fastest packs, I'm going to demonstrate it for you. Pop it on, pop your loader, grab a lid, good to go. Fastest pack on the market, doesn't get any faster than that.
While we're in the 1-minute mode, James has with him a well-known figure in the paintball world, and he is about to unleash a barrage of half-baked and fully baked questions in the weekly war of wits we call the Line of Fire. Today's talking target, Billy Ceranski.
Best paintball memory. Winning the World Cup when Gary, Spud, and Rennick retired.
Biggest paintball disappointment?
Losing World Cup to Dynasty.
Better state, California where you grew up?
California.
Or Illinois? I don't even have to get there, huh?
California. Northern California.
Northern California, huh? You hope to go back?
Oh, yeah. Go back there for a couple years and straight to Hawaii forever.
What car do you drive?
I just got a Tahoe.
Tahoe.
So I had a 4Runner before. So I like trucks, and I drive about 100 miles an hour.
Oh, you're a fast driver?
Give or take, yeah. I drive far to work and back. It's about 50 miles each way. So I try to make that, about 25 minutes or so.
You a road rage guy?
No, can't necessarily have road rage when you live in Chicago because every 5 days they tear up every road, so there's always construction and congestion. If you had road rage, you'd be in jail. So prefer to stay out of jail.
What would be on your iPod or your CD player right now, the one that's about to play?
My iPod has a lot, actually, that won't make sense. It has Dust in the Wind. It has a bunch of Ice Cube, a little bit of Sir Mix-a-Lot, then some Aerosmith, and so it's a little bit of jumble. A little bit of classical music.
Give me some Ice Cube.
Some Ice Cube, I can't give you Ice Cube. I think that's a little X-rated, all the Ice Cube I listen to. I'm not sure it would translate to a bunch of beeps. Beep, 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 beep. Yo, mama. Beep, beep, beep.
Yo, daddy. How many kids do you have?
One.
Boy, girl?
He's a boy, he's 15 months.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
What's his name?
Alexander.
If you could pick any sport for him to play when he grows up, what sport would it be?
Probably golf. Because no matter what, if he does well at golf, he can have a nice life, and he'd never really get hurt. My preference would be football. But
Harrier, Sasquatch, or you?
the front, me. The back, as long as from the waist up, him. Everything else, probably me.
You gotta be rapid with the replies when you're playing the line of fire game. And the 5-man players have to be quick with the trigger when they want to compete at the PSP Chicago Open. But don't go away. When we get back, I'll have Pierce's picks to perform. Stay tuned.
Stay on top of the paintball scene. Subscribe to Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get player interviews and tournament coverage in every issue. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine will keep you informed of the hottest players and the hottest gear. Plus, you'll get product reviews and expert tech tips in every issue. That's 12 issues of non-stop coverage for only $19.95. Call 1-800-PAINTBALL to order by phone or order online. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get in the game.
Paintball 2Xtremes is brought to you by Empire, innovation, dedication, domination. By Bob Long, creator of the legendary Intimidator and Defiant markers. And by Paintball 2Xtremes, covering the game.
Welcome back to Paintball 2Xtremes, the national tent in the Chicago Open. There you are. I'm James Bates over here in the Diablo corner. A lot of red and black here in the tent. You know, it wasn't too long ago that one of the Chicago sports teams that wore the red and black, the Bulls, were running things in the NBA. And the man that had the 2-3, not the 1-3, Michael Jordan, was the big-time superstar, hitting all the last-second shots, making everything happen. But Jordan will be the first to tell you it took all the guys out there on the court to win those championships, not just one guy. And Jen Pierce has found out here at the Chicago Open that it takes a whole lot of teamwork when it comes to 5-man paintball as well.
When playing paintball, you can't ignore how important it is to have a hometown advantage. And here in the Windy City, the team that enjoys that edge is Chicago Evil.
I work in the area, so I'm a preschool teacher, so I have a lot of the families and the kids are coming out to watch today, so that's nice. And a bunch of the girlfriends and wives of some of the players actually get a chance to come see what we do when we're gone for half the year, so it makes it nice.
The evil paintballers breeze through the Chicago 5-man Open class, defeating Team Crowley for the championship. In 5-man, there also were some strong contenders. Coming off of a win last year at the World Cup, Diesel was ready to take the Chicago Open head-on by entering in the 5-man division and Division I X-Ball. And what's behind every successful man or team of men? Why, a good mama, of course.
Babysit a lot, on and off the field. Diesel actually started as a team called Vicious and then switched on and moved the name over to Diesel. Later in the year, started playing 7-man novice and just moving up every year and getting better and better. Played some 10-man Pro-Am and won World Cup last year in Division II X-Ball.
Diesel is comprised of players from such places as Nebraska, Florida, Chicago, and St. Louis. But despite the obstacles of travel distances, the team is still well prepared.
It's 2 to 3 times in between each event, which is almost every month. We practice just like random teams, basically, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. We try to practice as much as possible.
Because everyone's from different states, we'll have like a central location. St. Louis is where we've been practicing, and everyone will come there usually once or twice before an event, and that hopefully gets us ready.
Diesel's win at the season opener in California and a strong showing in Orlando placed the team at the top of the standings coming into Chicago. And for some of the newer players on the team, that heavy-duty competition is what they live for.
I started about 3 years ago playing in the woods for briefly, and then went straight to this type of game. It's a lot tougher competition than I was playing at before, and it really makes me step up my game, and it's a lot of fun. I feel like I'm at this level. I should be at this level.
In the preliminary rounds of the Chicago Open, Diesel overcame some early losses and advanced to the Final Four in second place with a total of 526 points, well behind class-leading San Diego Ravenous with an 8-game total of 550 points. Third place in the standings went to Spectrum with 510, while Fury, who began strong and then faded in the later games, wound up seated 4th with a points total of 500. So these are the 4 teams we will now see in action throughout the show.
Thanks, Jen. How about a little Division I 5-man now? That's SDR, better known as San Diego Ravenous, and well, you're looking at Fury out of Colorado, led by Captain Scotty Flint. Here we go.
All of the 5-man games are played on the divisional X-Ball field, so all of these teams have been able to watch a lot of games before they're coming into the finals here. With 5-on-5, they're going to slow down a little bit from X-Ball, but they still want to play aggressive.
There's an example of aggressive play. Some of the SDR guys heading back to the box. So now down to 4 for San Diego Ravenous.
Guys are really trying to talk it up. Communication's very, very important on these really wide X-Ball fields.
Referee checking one of the SDR players there at the top. He was clean.
San Diego Ravenous guy in the snake, so the Fury guy's got to counter, take the other side. Colorado Fury really, really playing smart, not losing any bodies. Little run on the other side, probably moving into the 50 over there.
SDR moves back up the snake. So, bird's eye view of the field, and he's gone. And now, Fury will take back over. Another San Diego Ravenous player's down, and that about does it. So, our first look at 5-man here at the PSP Chicago Open. This one will go to Colorado's Fury. Mr. Murdoch will hang this flag. We'll have more 5-man action later on in the show.
When you're walking around here in the Windy City, I was trying to find some interesting things, meet some interesting people, and I caught some interesting shirts. Like here, we got the Soccer Mom Gone Bad. Check out what else I found. Well, we've seen some pretty cool t-shirts, and I think I'm gonna maybe walk away with this one. And as Tom Hanks says in A League of Their Own, there's no crying in paintball.
32 degrees. Yeah, right. Not in Chicago this summer. It's hotter here than it was in Tampa for the Super 7. But you know what is much, much cooler? Paintball 2Xtremes, the magazine. The guys and girls that work there work so hard, and they always take care of you.
In the October issue, there's plenty of game coverage from the NPPL, the CFOA, and the International Amateur Open, as well as the Hatfields versus McCoys scenario game. Get your issue today.
If you want to stay on top of the paintball scene, subscribe to Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get player interviews and tournament coverage in every issue. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine will keep you informed of the hottest players and the hottest gear. Plus, you'll get product reviews and expert tech tips in every issue. That's 12 issues of non-stop coverage for only $19.95. Call 1-800-PAINTBALL to order by phone or order online. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get in the game.
Oh, hey, there you are. Trying to hide from the heat here in the Windy City, and you want to know what makes the Windy City so great? Deep dish pizza, old style, the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, Wrigley, Comiskey, everything, the L, the Untouchables, Elliott Ness, I can go on and on. Now, you want to know what makes paintball so great? You got to ask the pros, like Ryan Gray.
Heidi Buckman asks, what are some good conditioning or warm-ups to do before the game? Good question, Heidi. Because of all the starting and stopping in paintball, it's good to work out every muscle before you get onto the field that you're going to be moving during the game. Good warm-ups to do before the game always are stretching, a little bit of running. You also want to do some cardiovascular things, sidestepping. Try to move all of the body parts that you're going to move during the game, especially if it's X-ball. You want to try to get all your muscles working, especially like if you're going to be doing slight. Make sure you get your back nice and stretched out. Most paintball players forget about their arms. You're holding that gun, you're passing it back and forth in between the hands. You want to make sure your arms are nice and warmed up.
A paintball team made of 5. Behind bunkers, they often must dive. But they cannot despair as paint flies through the air, for winning is what makes them thrive. But enough of this rhyme. It's just about time to go to the booth for the moment of truth. James, which teams are playing this time?
All right, Jen, here we go. That's Spectrum. 5-man competition here at the PSP Chicago Open. They're on the left, and they're taking on Diesel out of Nebraska.
Now, Diesel played in the Divisional X-Ball tournament, so they've played this field over and over and over again. They should be a tough team to beat. Let's see what happens.
Well, one of the Diesel players already heading back to the box as we take a look at Spectrum.
Spectrum with a very, very soft breakout, not taking any bunkers past the front 5 bunkers. One light move over there to the Dorito.
Well, it's worked so far for them as they've got the upper hand. Man advantage, 5-on-4 right now as the Spectrum player works the snake. Now they move a little bit.
Playing really smart, dropping bodies, trying to take the good bunkers, but not being too aggressive.
Communicating as well. So interesting to listen into these guys, the way they talk back and forth and let everybody know where everybody's stationed on the other side of the field.
It's extremely important with all these bunkers. A normal X-ball field has about 35 bunkers on it. With 5-on-5, there's a lot of places to play paintball. It's important to keep the communication going. Saw another Diesel player walk off. And looks like another one out of the Dorito on the other side of the field.
Wow, how about Spectrum? You see one last Diesel player trying to make a run, and they're going to keep on walking. Spectrum standing strong here in Chicago. In the Chicago heat, no less. What a hot weekend in the great state of Illinois. And it's a great day right now anyway for the boys wearing the blue and the stars on their back. big win over Diesel for Spectrum. And when we come back on PB2X, we'll have the final 2 games here in 5-man action. Don't go anywhere.
If you want to stay on top of the paintball scene, subscribe to Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get player interviews and tournament coverage in every issue. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine will keep you informed of the hottest players and the hottest gear. Plus, you'll get product reviews and expert tech tips in every issue. That's 12 issues of non-stop coverage for only $19.95. Call 1-800-PAINTBALL to order by phone or order online. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get in the game.
Paintball 2Xtremes is brought to you by National Paintball Supply, #1 supplier to the #1 extreme sport. By Diablo, play with fire. And by Paintball 2Xtremes, covering the game.
All right there, welcome back to the waning moments of this PSP Chicago Open. James Bateson along with Jen Pierce. We're anxiously awaiting to see who's going to come out triumphant in this 5-man battle. She had that lame little limerick a little while ago in the show, and I've got nowhere near the poetry skills that she does, but I can cook up a little rhyme of my own for you. How about this? Now, it's been quite a competitive journey for the 5-man teams here in the tourney. Now, the final teams clash to take the PSP cash, and the loser gets wheeled away on a gurney. I don't know, it wasn't bad, was it? Check them out.
As promised, more 5-man action. That is Diesel on the left-hand side. And on the right, it's Ravenous. Boys from SoCal, Southern California, San Diego to be exact. And here we go.
Ravenous with a very, very X-ball style breakout. Already losing a player out of their stand-up.
Down to the last few games here in 5-man competition. Division I 5-man paintball here at the PSP Chicago Open, and another SDR player going back to the box.
We're 4-on-3 right now with Diesel with a huge advantage having more players on their feet.
Well, and both of these teams here playing right now have an advantage. That's why they're here, because they played quite a bit of X-ball on this same field. And right now, it's all advantage Diesel as they take down another SDR player. And that's the last one. Floyd Rose will scan the field one last time. So this win goes to the boys in black, Diesel. But they've got to sit and wait. They could take home the overall win here from Division I 5-man at the PSP Chicago Open. And now they've just got to wait and see who wins this next game. And here it is on the right. You're looking at Fury, the boys from Colorado, and Spectrum on the left with the stars on those blue jerseys. Diesel waiting in the wing. They could still win this thing, but it's got to be decided on this field right now in a very soft breakout for the boys in blue, Ryan.
Both of these teams have to have 5 bodies alive if they want to win the tournament. Really aggressive move on the other side of the field.
Especially when you need to keep those 5 bodies alive. Another move over on the right side for Fury.
Taking chances.
Reloading, communicating all the while as you see Fury trying to creep up, getting to that snake.
Very surprising to see a team like Fury take such big chances.
Oh, a couple shots right there, and down goes a Spectrum player. So that says one thing, Spectrum will not win the championship here. And look at this, Pancho Villa, he's going to take the flag all the way to the other end with 5 men left standing. Taking the championship back to Colorado, coming all the way to Chicago. Hey, Jen, I'll bet you got some happy campers with you right now, huh?
5-man finals here at the PSP Chicago Open. How do you guys feel?
We feel great. You know, we've been working really hard this year, and You know, our sponsors have been helping us out a ton. Can't forget Scotty Flint. He's the man behind the team. So.
Are we going to see you guys in your hometown next month?
Absolutely, we're defending champions, so we'll definitely be in Denver.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
They didn't warn me. It is windy here in Chicago, but it's also hot, really hot. That about does it for episode 1 of our Chicago Open trilogy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We sure enjoyed bringing it to you. Now, how does a little X-Ball Division I style sound? Pretty good, huh? Well, that's what we have on tap for next week, and a sneak peek at some hot new gear. For Jen Pierce, I'm James Bates. We'll see you next week here on Paintball 2Xtremes.